Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Vanessa Vargas. On behalf of Cerenade, I want to thank you for attending this basic training for new users of eIMMIGRATION. We're going to get started. You should be able to see my screen. This training, as always, is being recorded, so you can always watch the video later when we upload it to our YouTube channel. Also, we have a PowerPoint presentation that you can download, so you can click on the links and follow the instructions when you have questions. Okay, so we're going to again cover a basic training for new users. We will cover the basic steps of how to create a contact, how to link and why you should link the members, and how to create the cases. We will go over the alternate view, questionnaires, and how to auto-populate the forms and all the form tools that are included. You can send forms to the client so they can review, how to create logs, gathering and storing documents, the letter templates for your cover letters and more, and the document assembly. We will also cover reminders, the case process steps, and the tickler. As always, we go over resources and support. We also have a Q&A and Did You Know section and the upcoming training classes. All right, so let's get started. Please let me know if you have any questions today. Let me switch my screen. All right, so the first thing that I want to show you is how to create a contact. Uh, Oh, hi. Welcome. Thank you for messaging me. Please message me. At least say happy birthday. Today's my happy. Today's my birthday. So send me wishes through the chat so I can see that you guys are also paying attention. Just kidding. But yeah, if you have any questions throughout the training, message me so I can help you. All right. So this is your session, and at any point you can ask questions. And remember, this is being recorded, so we will have the video later today. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is create a contact. If you click on the left where it says create clients and contacts, it's going to ask you to create a contact, and this could be for the prospect. The other day, someone asked me if I recommended to create a contact after they schedule the consultation or they actually show up because they cancel the consultation appointments. My suggestion was to just create the prospect account no matter what, even before they schedule the consultation, because that way you can run a report to see, how many prospects still haven't hired you or retain you, so that you can use a status filter for that. Okay, so yeah, create a contact for those prospects, and then later when they retain you, you simply switch the status to active. When you create the contact, if you notice, the system will auto-generate the number. That's if you have customized the system. Now remember, maybe you don't have access, but remember that in eImmigration, you also have an administrator portal. We just did a video recently, I think it was last week, on the admin portal. And one of the things that you can customize is the application settings over here. If you scroll down, you can customize the case and the client settings. So the system can auto-generate those client numbers, and you save time. So anyway, so if you want the system to auto-generate the client number, you can just go into the admin and customize that. When you create a contact, let me open one. It looks more like this. You can click on the square to upload a picture, and you can of course type the information in all the different fields, then save the changes, and this is the information that will populate the forms. Okay, so if your client is tech savvy, we're going to show you today how to send them a questionnaire so they can enter the information when you initiate the intake form. But if you have a client that is not tech savvy and you want to capture the data yourself, I suggest that you use the alternate view. On the right hand side of the contact profile, you'll see alternate view. So the alternate view allows you to access the questionnaires. We provide questionnaires by default that you can utilize, or you can create your own questionnaires. For example, I have done like a full N400 questionnaire, and I mean, just to give you an idea, you can have your logo, you can ask questions like, is this the first time that you contact us? Yes, well, then how did you hear about the law firm? So you can ask additional questions when you have the person in front of you or on the phone, and you can just type the information yourself, click save, and this stays in the system, and then again, it will transfer to the forms. Okay. Um, Now, notice that anything that hasn't been mapped, meaning connected, like for example, this one, I can ask a question, how did you hear about the law firm? And I can probably put here like radio or like Google search. Or if I don't map my question to a custom field in the profile, then it's just going to stay in the alternate view. Okay, this is actually something new. Let me show you an example. If I use the alternate view and I make those modifications, now I can go to documents and I can track those modifications through the alternate view. This is something new. So every time that you guys use the alternate view now, you now have a record of which questionnaire you modified. Once you click save, it's gonna keep that copy. So make sure that you guys take advantage of that. If the client says, I want a copy of that form that we did on Friday, you can just click print and it will print with all the answers that you typed. Okay, so here's the modification, and let me show you how the information updated. Here we go. So if you guys use the alternate view, let me just update it again. Um, and you save, it stays in the system if you have mapped that. If it's not mapped, it only stays in the alternate view. But it's super helpful because instead of just, going to the different fields, although again, some people prefer to do it this way, like, okay, now I'm gonna ask you for your marriage history, employment history, and blah, blah, blah. So you can keep going. Again, make sure that you click save. Once you add any information, you have to click save, and then you can safely continue to the next area. Whatever you prefer, but as long as you enter the information and you save it, that way you don't have to keep typing the same info over and over again. That's the idea of using eIMMIGRATION or ECMS. Okay, so you create a contact, you enter as much information as possible. Again, you can upload the picture, you can, what else? Let me see if I have this for today's session. Give me 1 second. No, but I'm gonna No, but I'm going to share with you no matter what, because I think it's a great feature and not everyone is aware. It's called Client Overview. You can actually customize it. So if you want to save time, you can customize your client overview with exactly the details you want to see. And that way, let's say that RFEs are important or I-94s are important, court hearings. So you can customize exactly the exact information, and then you can also print it if needed. The way you customize it is here. If you go to user preferences, and then that's on the right hand side called client overview. So this is where you can modify exactly what you want to see. Anyways, let's just say that that's a bonus for today. But oh yeah, if you're new, a lot of things are probably still hidden, until you kind of practice and you explore. That's what anything. I always recommend clients to take it one step at a time, to always reach out for help if you guys have any questions. So, and make sure that you explore like the user's guide and trainings like today, you can learn something new. All right, so you create a contact. And the second step, you want to create a contact also for the family members. Let's say she's my client, the petitioner, and she has children or a spouse or a joint sponsor, her parents. You want to link these members because when you get to the forms, you want their data to also transfer. And also so that you have everything organized. You know the client information, right? And you can see who's related to her and what way, what's the relationship. So the way you link a member, you want to click here, link member, search. Most likely it's not going to be in the system, so you create a new contact over here at the bottom. When you click new contact, I suggest that you don't generate a number for them because they're not a client, or at least not yet. So just leave it blank, and that way when you search for actual clients, you can say give me the ones that have numbers, not contacts, but active clients. When you enter the information for the family member, you select the relationship. This is a daughter or father, spouse, and then you click link. If you need to capture additional information from that person, let's say the son, Andrew, he's a beneficiary, then I would just click on Andrew's name. It's going to take me to his account or his profile, and then I can just capture his information or maybe send him questionnaires. But that's how it works. Each entity has a contact profile. If you do employment based cases, you start by creating a business client profile, and it's the same thing. You just go to members and link the employees or signatories or HR managers, etc. So that's how you want to keep everything organized through the members tab. And the third step, once you have done that, is to click on cases. This is where you create the case. Some people get confused and think, okay, I created a case. No, this is a contact or client profile. Now you have to click on create case, because technically and eventually this person can have more than one matter or process. So you can separate them by processes. Okay, you create a case and you're going to use the case wizard to choose the type of process, the department. Now let me remind you, all of these drop down menus can be customized. If you're not using them yet, make sure that you go into your admin and then customize them here. Okay, for example, my process, what if I want to use the system for more than just immigration? We have clients that prepare forms, but they also use it for like income taxes or insurance or like notary. Or we have clients that are nonprofit organizations that use it for ESL classes or, social services, employment workshops, clients that use it for personal injury, criminal cases. So you can customize the system and create a matter or a process, and then use the system as a case management software. All of these can be customized. The type of program, if you're a nonprofit, this is where you may want to, customize it for grants or programs. But if you're not a nonprofit and you want to use this kind of like a drop down menu or filter, you can probably use it for the status of the case in process or completed, pending with NVC. So you can also run reports and use this drop down menu. Remember, you have to go into the um, admin portal to customize these. Categories are also, again, useful so that I can say, you know what, give me all divorce cases or just give me family based. And then, of course, your department is your location, what branch. Um, you can separate cases by departments as well. So we're going to click next, next, and then I see if I want to add other caseworkers like the, I don't know, administrator or like attorneys or paralegals, just search for them if they're not already listed, and you can choose whose information should transfer to the forms on a case by case basis just by clicking on this box. And then you click next, and then you have the roles. So this is different from linking the members. We talked about connecting them so that we know how they are related or who they are. The brother, this is a father, or an adverse party. And when you create a case and you get here, this is where you choose the case party's roles. Who's the petitioner, who's the beneficiary, or again, maybe you're using eCMS and you want to use it for any family law like plaintiff, defendant, guardian, minor. So anyways, you can choose the role. Now, if it's an employment-based case, the employer has to be linked as employer. That way you can choose the branch and the signatory. Whereas if it's a family-based case, then you choose petitioner. Okay, that's the difference between employment and family-based cases. If it's employer, select employer. If it's family-based, select petitioner. And for the beneficiaries, actually, we recommend that you select alien. This is internal. Now, clients are not going to see that. This is just for the forms to auto-populate right away instead of clicking on the select party button. But it's up to you. You can choose whatever you want, beneficiary, other, and you open the form and you just click on the red button and transfer by clicking on the person's name, regardless of the role. You can also leave the other family members blank. And unless there's like a beneficiary or derivative, you just select the role. And at the bottom, again, click Next. You have the forms checklist, which remember, this can be customized. You can always add or remove forms on a case-by-case basis. You're going to click Create, and it's going to take you to the case window. This is the case profile. The difference between this one and the contact profile, it has different menus, and obviously this is where you can um, work on the forms. See, forms or like case parties, process steps. If I click on the name of the person, it's going to take me to a different tab where I can see the contact profile, where again, I can see the biographic info, history, background, and it's different from the case profile. So that's how you can tell. It's actually on the top left as well. Home, cases, forms. All right, so before I go on and show you how to auto-populate forms, I do want to cover questionnaires. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. I will launch a poll because I do want to know if the basic 3 steps that we just covered were clear or if you need me to explain one more time. I'll wait for the other participants to vote. And as soon as I get more than 50% of the votes, okay, there we go. All right, so we'll continue. Thank you for letting me know. How to send questionnaires to client. Yep, that's what I'm going to cover right now. So how to send questionnaires to a client. First of all, my recommendation is that you click on the client's name or you access the account or profile. And then also make sure that you have an email address and a cell phone if you plan on texting the link for them to complete the questionnaire. Okay. Once you have that, then if you haven't done it yet, you need to create an account on the right-hand side where it says client access. And this is regardless if you plan on giving them access or not to the client portal. As a reminder for those that don't know, you have a client portal included. You can put your logo here. You can let them access this secure and encrypted individual client portal so they can not only complete forms and or review forms, answer questionnaires, but also upload documents. They can process payments, etc. But anyways, so this access, you have to create it over here. If you log in as a caseworker and open a client's profile, a contact profile, and click on client access on the right hand side. And so let me delete this one so I can show you. If a client doesn't have access, it's going to look like this. So you have to choose a login name. I'm going to choose her nickname. The password, I suggest that you create a password simple to remember or just to type 1234. And unless you want to generate that password automatically. And then click create. If you want the client to log in, like I said, so they can upload files or answer a questionnaire or make a payment, what have you, you can email them the credentials. If you click there, you can send them the username and password. If you haven't used the letter templates, I suggest you do. In the admin portal, you can create your own templates. So instead of typing the message yourself, you can just choose the template from here. For example, I may want to send this email in Spanish to give them access to the credentials. So I choose my template and now it populates with her name. It's in Spanish. Querida Valeria, aquí le proporcionamos los datos necesarios. So it's a lot easier for me and I don't have to change the username and password. That's it. The system will send the password. I just don't see it for security reasons. And I click email. Now my client sees an email for the URL, username, and password. That's again if you want them to log in. But you still need to create access. And now I can click on create questionnaire. Let me know if you have any questions at this point. Okay. When you send a new questionnaire to your clients, you have multiple options. One is to send the questionnaire to this person electronically, send it to someone else, print the questionnaire or simply view the questionnaire, and you also have an option to send a bulk email with a hyperlink or even add this link to your website. It's called anonymous questionnaire. But today I'm going to show you this one, how to send a questionnaire to the client. Now, when I say I'm going to send it to Valeria, if you have access to SMS, the optional module, you can also send this passwordless link via text messaging. Or even if you don't have SMS, at least you can copy paste the link maybe into WhatsApp or maybe send an email. So you have that option to send that intake form or questionnaire with a passwordless link. Okay. And if you want to send it directly to the client portal, you can click here, email questionnaire. So technically, you're not emailing the questionnaire, you're sending the notification via email, but you are enabling the questionnaire in the client portal. Now, also notice that you can customize the process. So I can say, well, if this person is here for naturalization, give me the related questionnaires for this matter. Okay, so it's a lot easier for you to simply select all of them and send them. You can utilize the questionnaires that we have by default, or you can make corrections or remove or modify your own questionnaires, whatever you prefer. If you, oops, if, let me close this. If you click on this option to send the questionnaire or intake form with a passwordless link, you can also send the questionnaire in a different language by default. So if I know that she prefers Spanish, I'm going to choose questionnaires that are related to this, process in Spanish, and I'm going to pick and choose whatever questionnaires I want to send. I'm just going to select a couple. So let me see if I can send these. Yeah, I can't because she has questionnaires already. The same questionnaire cannot be sent twice. So I think this, let me pick a different one. Yeah, I think this one was already submitted. I guess not. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna choose a different person. So this one, for example, Jorge Roman, he doesn't have the account yet. So I can use the email address or simply change the username. And then the password, I'm gonna also do 1234. And I don't want to send her or him the passwordless link. I mean, I'm not gonna send the access details. I'm just gonna create the account so I can move on. And then from here, choose how do I want to deliver the questionnaire. I'm going to pick this one because I want to send these questionnaires in Spanish. I pick the process and then I pick the questionnaire. Here we go. He doesn't have a cell phone, so I can't send the text message. I'm going to pick to send the email, or again, you can copy the link and paste it if you have WhatsApp open on a separate tab. When you send an email to your client, you have to copy this link and paste it here in your letter template. Or again, if you want to use your own letter templates, just select, for example, this in Spanish, Nuevo Cuestionario, new questionnaire, and I have the name auto-populating, so I don't have to do it manually, but I'm just gonna replace with the correct link right here. As long as he clicks on the link, he's going to be able to access the questionnaire. He has to confirm his identity for security reasons. Now, let me show you what happens when they log in. If I think I did, bear with me. Let me see if I picked yeah, that's not the correct one. Give me 1 second. All right. So, you know what? Let me double check that I have the correct username. Oh, yeah, it's underscore test 123. Okay. Underscore test 123, 1234. Okay, when the client logs in, if we allow them to log in into the client portal, they'll see the questionnaires that we have sent and they're gonna open. Oh my God, I just realized that this is the testing site that we have, and the client, fake client, obviously, that I created almost 10 years ago. All right, so client will see the data that you have captured. If there's anything that they need to modify, for example, it's missing the US resident address. Let's go ahead and type it. All right, so I'm just going to enter the information and answer the questions. Is this the first time that you contact us? Yes. How did you hear about this law firm? Blah, blah, blah. So these are questions that, again, you can create as a custom fields and include in the questionnaire. Or you can also add like specific instructions. We just need your last 5 years of previous addresses, or please upload your passport PDF only. Again, you can make this customized. You can customize it from the admin portal. When your client is done, let them know that they can also make a copy of this by printing this questionnaire before they submit. Because once they submit, they won't have access to the questionnaire. If they click submit, you will get an email from us, and we'll let you know you've got a new questionnaire. So when you log in into your caseworker portal, on the top right, you're gonna see an indicator in green that says 5. So you click there and it shows you the name of the person and the questionnaire that you received. All right, so it's going to show you when you initiated the questionnaire and when they submitted, who initiated or who sent the questionnaire. And so here we're going to click select, open. I'm going to review the questions. Everything that's highlighted, it means that it was modified. And so I either accept or send it back. If I accept the questionnaire, obviously the information that's been entered or updated, it will transfer to the profile, and eventually it will transfer to the forms. Okay. If there's anything that has been modified, when you click on the field, it's going to tell you the original value. Obviously, this was blank before, so there's nothing to compare. I will click accept, and then let's take a look at Jorge's account. Notice that the system gives you on the home screen the recently updated clients. Because this is the most recently modified or updated client, it's right here. I don't have to even search for it. And because we captured his address, it's right here. Now let me show you a quick trick. If this was the same address as the mailing address, instead of retyping it, you can click here where it says copy from US residents. So that's it, just copy and save. Now I have both sections completed. Let me know if you have any questions about questionnaires. Okay. Another thing I want you to know is that if you go into a client's account or profile and you click on documents, on the left hand side, you can see the questionnaires and forms that you have received or initiated. So remember earlier I wasn't able to resend the same questionnaire. This is where I can see the progress. So I don't have to resend it. Maybe I just forgot that I sent that questionnaire before and the client also forgot to complete it. So I can remind them, or I can just submit on behalf of the client and accept the questionnaire like that. Okay. So if your client wants a copy of the questionnaires that they have sent to you previously, you can always make a copy. You can print them from here. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Mm, Now, I'm going to launch a poll so I can ask you, how do you prefer to capture your client's info? Do you send the questionnaire? Do you print it? Do you just type on the forms? What is it that you guys normally do? We have clients that used to have like a Word document or PDF, and it was a waste of time because you ask the client to write the answers, then you have to type the information yourself. instead of just providing the link and have them enter the information, or you can use the alternate view. But yeah, there are many options. All right, so I've got more than 50% of the votes, and the majority of you say I plan on entering directly into the profile. That's great. As long as you don't type it on the forms, because it would defeat the purpose of using the system, then you're fine. All right, so now that we have the client's info, we have the family members linked, we have created the case, and we send the questionnaires. We have everything we need. Now let's work on the forms. Now remember, you can click on the client's name and open more than one tab. I have the contact profile window open. At the same time, I have the case window with all the forms open. So I can go back and forth. Let's open the I-130. I'm going to show you a couple of elements that are very important, especially if you're new. On the left-hand side, it says petitioner info goes here. And because I label her as a petitioner, well, her data transfers. On page 5, it says alien. And that's why I recommend that you list the beneficiary as the alien because it transfers right away. If you select beneficiary or other, it's going to be blank, but it's okay. You can click on select, replace alien, and then you click on the name of the person, regardless of the role that you assign them. It could say beneficiary, and that's okay. Just click on the name of the person, and that's how you can also update data. Also, the reason why I'm getting this message is because the petitioner is the same person as the spouse. So some of the regions have been locked, so I don't mix info. We have had a profile repeated. Is any reason why we are repeating those profiles? Probably because when you create an account for your client and you send them the questionnaire for relatives, the person uh, enters the information again for themselves instead of using that questionnaire for the general info, right? For individual client, they probably enter the information again under the relatives. And when you accept it, it creates a duplicate. My recommendation to avoid duplicates is that either you link them manually, right? So that you click link and then you specify daughter, spouse, and when you send them the questionnaire for relatives, let me open it. Relatives right here, or immediate family members, either or, let them know, right? It's going to say father's information. I think this is a reason why they created the immediate family members so that it's super clear. This is a mother's profile. So instead of them re-adding themselves to the system, that's probably what happened. Now, let me show you another thing. If you guys, you're welcome. If you guys also try to create someone with the same name, Valeria, I was going to type, this is my sister's name. Oh, it's Smithley. Blank for a second, Smith. All right, let's just say that I try to create a Valerie Smith and I click create contact. You get this red button that says potentially duplicate contact. Some people don't see that and they still go ahead and create a new contact. So that's probably why you probably didn't see this red warning. If you see that we already have someone with the same name, just close and search for that person. How to delete the duplicate case under the same client? Well, if you go, your question says how to delete the duplicate case under the same client. Okay, so if it's a duplicate case, I would go to cases. I would label this. So if this is a duplicate case, I would just call it duplicate so I know which one to delete, right? See, if I, one thing I suggest that you guys use is this load more data button because it allows you to compare two of the same either contact or case profiles at the same time. So I can see the date when this case has been updated or the case parties. This one has a derivative, this one doesn't. This one maybe has, I don't know, like a different caseworker. See, so you can compare two of the same cases and then safely delete. If you click select delete, it's going to ask you, you're about to delete a record. Are you sure? So that's when you click OK or cancel. If you don't see the delete button, it's because your admin has blocked that feature from you. Or maybe you're the admin, so you can just go and unblock it for yourself. All right. Thank you for the questions. Let's continue so I can show you how to work with forms. So now we said that as long as I have data in the system, it will transfer to the forms. Got it. And as long as it's the same role, then obviously it's going to transfer. If it's blank, just use the red select party button. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So let's say that you get a service unavailable message and you just breathe and wait and wait and wait or press escape. I don't know what I did. Of course, it's Friday. um, I think I need a mimosa. All right, let's see. Cases. You can message me in the meantime. Let's use this time if you have any questions. All right, I'm not gonna use that duplicate. Although, you know what? This is the one that I just created. Let's use that one. Forms. I click on the client's name. Sometimes when I click the red tab, it doesn't transfer the info. Okay, you're talking about the red button? Or what do you mean tab? Sometimes, oh, yes. Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, let me tell you why. I understand your question and the situation. This is what happens sometimes. I can probably delete this. I'm overriding technically, right? And if I go inside the system, let me just save my changes. I deleted the city because it was wrong. And then I go into the profile and I say, you know what? It's not this, but this. I'm going to save the changes and then go back to the form and use that red button that you were talking about. This one. It's called Party in the Med. So you click select, you click replace, you click her name, and then you think, okay, I refreshed the information. But because we respect the fields that have been overwritten, you don't see the data. That's what maybe you went through. So what you need to do is click on the field and notice that if you get this yellow bar on top, click to restore. See how the data restored from the profile? Maybe that's what happened. That if you overwrite a field, even if you save or modify the profile until you restore the value, that's when the data transfers. Because again, maybe what if I just want to override this particular field or in this particular form, but not the entire profile or all the forms. That's why when you overwrite, it's actually in blue, but you always have the power to restore or cancel, like an undo. hmm Perfect. Practice and let me know if sometimes it could be a bug. Sometimes there's an error with the system. Report that. But most of the time, I sometimes don't do that. Okay. Yeah. If you have any problems, just contact us. All right, so let's continue. I can add a post-it. This square on top is for the sticky notes. I can type, you know, please confirm city of birth. I can leave these post-its throughout the form so I can add my observations or comments. But when it's time for me to print the form, I don't necessarily want to print the sticky notes. So you can uncheck the option, but leave them inside. Now you can also click here to type anywhere on the form. You drag and drop the text anywhere you want. You can also, when you type information, you can also shrink the size of the font or simply wait until you're ready to print. The system will shrink it for you. and it will create an addendum for you. Okay. All right. Okay. What else? Actually, if I go to the last page for the additional information, there's also a red button. If you click edit additional entries, choose the additional entries that you want to include. Maybe you want to uncheck whatever is not necessary and save. The system populates also the page number, part numbers, and item numbers. Okay, that's going to save you so much time. What else? Trying to think. Yeah. When you are done with the form, click on this icon so that you replace any blank spaces with NA or none. Or you can also, can you please, last sentence? You mean, can you repeat the, I was talking about the last page. I went to the very last page and I clicked edit additional entries, and I was able to pick the additional entries and click saved. And the system does the auto populate. I think that's what you missed. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much for interacting. It really makes a difference when you do ask questions. This is your training and I'm here to help. Okay, so that was the NA. You can also use this feature to replace everything with all caps. I mean, this is very controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it, but you can use that feature to change everything to all caps. You can also, if you go to the admin portal, you can also customize the form defaults. So if you have access to the admin, you can customize it so that every time that you open a form, it has your defaults. Okay, I'm gonna save the changes and close the form. And again, please message me if you have any questions. And remember, try to open multiple tabs because that way, as I just did, I went into the profile, I modified the information, clicked save, and then I went back to use a party on demand to refresh or update. Now, what if I want to send the form or forms to the client so they can either read only, right, as PDFs, or I want them to review and make changes and edit the forms. So you can do that. Just click on the forms that you want to share, select how you want to send them, and then, send them the forms. This requires for the client to log in into the client portal. So if you want them to log in, remember to give them access to the username and password. Now you can also add comments or logs. These are the notes, and I suggest, I always suggest that you customize uh, these categories or type of notes. It's a lot easier long term to find notes that are related to any specific matter or reason, complaint, change contact info, legal advice, etc. So customize the types from the admin portal, and then when you create your notes, then it's a lot easier for you to find them. You can also share with the client if needed as a read-only access, and you can pin the notes so that you keep these note on the top of the list, regardless of how many notes you're going to add throughout the case. Obviously, you can always edit and add more. Now, if I click on documents, this is where I can see the checklist. So if you can select the checklist or the documents that you want to request from them and share with the client. So clients can log in into the client portal, they'll see the checklist and then upload from here. They can see what documents you have shared with them. Sorry, this is not a good example. Let me log in as a different client. See, I have shared maybe the agreement or instructions, but I can also request some documents so they can see the list and they can upload their files instead of driving to the office, bringing the documents. It's probably a win-win. Now, of course, if your client is not tech savvy, you can do the scanning for them and use the batch upload. So you can drag and drop multiple files at once for the same client. Now, I also mentioned letter templates. You create these templates from the admin. Okay, so you have to log in here and click on letter templates. I suggest, and remember, I am sharing my PowerPoint presentation with you. Let me go back. So you can click on the link and you can review the tutorials when you have time. But again, we recommend that you add your letter templates from the admin, and then when you create a case and you have linked them to the process or matter, you're going to see the letter templates here. Cover letters, emails, anything. And so you can edit if you want to modify anything regarding the document. And of course, you want to use the tags so the system can auto-populate the case number or the client's name or the address or dates, anything. And you can click on preview. It auto-populates the information. And you can also download as PDF, Word, or email from here. Every time that you email a client, by the way, we keep a copy under the logs. Okay, so let me actually do that. If I say send this email to Valeria and maybe CC the attorney or so once I do that and I send that email, it's right here. There's a copy of that email. So you always have the record of what's been sent, who sent it, etc. The other thing you also have included, it's called document assembly. Well, with a document assembly, again, I'm in the case window and I clicked on document assembly at the bottom. You can create the package. So let's say adjustment of status for Valeria. Um, I'm going to choose these forms to be included and click here to move them into the package as well as the evidence or the letter templates. Just select and move. And then I can also drag and drop. So the cover letter goes here, the evidence goes here, this form goes, like you can rearrange the items and then create a table of contents for you. Obviously, we update the page numbers for you. So it's a lot easier and faster for you to put together the package using this document assembly and then just send the email with the footer page numbering and then the caption at the bottom, like, So again, this is going to save you so much time. That's a document assembly. Now you can also create reminders. If you go into the case or client profile, you can add a reminder. Now this is new for those that have text message included. Now you can also pre-schedule or program a text message reminder. So you can choose what date this text message or email or both should go out and the date, and sorry, and the time and the recipients, of course. So you can customize categories for the reminders. Make sure that you do that because when you get that text message or email, it tells you exactly what the reminder is for. Another feature I recommend that you utilize is called process steps. Now, process steps is kind of like the workflow of the case, your timeline. In other words, what's your to-do list? What do you need to do for this particular process? So as long as you modify the process steps and you enter the start date, it will give you a target date or deadline. So notice that I have at least a 0 here under time frame because as long as you have the start date, it auto populates the deadline. So if I know that for pending with USCIS receipt notice, it's going to take us, I don't know, 90 days, like you can modify this number and it gives you the target date. This person, if you choose a responsible party, the attorney, paralegal, admin, so you select who's in charge of that task. If, for example, I need to call the client for follow-up next week on the 18th, I'll choose my name. Because I am responsible for this call for follow-up on the 18th and this box is checked, If I don't call the client for follow, or at least I don't click here, done, done, done. If I don't complete it, I will get an email reminder on the 18th. So you can also schedule again those important emails to be sent to the party or the person responsible, the caseworker. And when they're done and they click completed or they enter the end date, at least you know who did what and when they did it, the date when it was completed or ended. It also helps to know if something was overdue. So let me show you. If I was supposed to do this on May 3rd, it's going to show in red. So you can easily run a report to see what's coming soon, what's overdue, what's been completed, who completed that step, the caseworker that was assigned. All of these process steps and reminders and expiration dates, you can see them all together in the tickler. The tickler is your general dashboard, which by the way, you can customize. So either you use a default version or layout or your own layout. By the way, you can change the layout if you go to user preferences. And so I can see not just my own data, but I can also show the data for all the caseworkers. So it looks like in the next 30 days, we've got 3 reminders. Tells me the person responsible, what the reminder's for, right? And so you can delegate, you can postpone. Also for the process steps, again, you can change the time frame. In the next 5 days, we have to do this for the defensive asylum. And in the next 6 to 20 days, we have to do these 3 items. And here are the target dates. So it's a better way for you to be organized. And you can also see expiration dates for documents such as passports, I-94s, RFEs, 797s, EADs, etc., as well as billing information. So if you are subscribed to billing, you can also see who owes you, how much, what was the due date, 30, 60, 90 days. Or again, you can modify the time frame. So that's a tickler. I hope that you guys utilize that dashboard to know exactly what's the priority. Now, let me go back to the PowerPoint and quickly recap. We talked about the basic 3 steps, how to create a contact. We talked about linking the members and how to create cases and use the forms as well as sending questionnaires. But if you don't want to send a questionnaire, you can utilize the alternate view. Then I went over the tools such as sticky notes, type anywheres, party on demand button on the actual forms, how to send those forms to the clients for them to review or make changes, how to create logs or notes, and gather and store these documents. Now, really quick before we move on, as far as documents, because I get this question a lot, if I have already captured the document here under the contact account, let's say her passport, and I have the same file that I want to utilize, but for her case window, you can click on select, edit, and copy to clipboard right here. Copy to clipboard and then go to the case window, go to the documents checklist. And since I already have the passport, why bother the client? I can just copy paste it. From the file location, click clipboard, save, and that's it. Now I have the file listed here in both accounts, both client and case profile. Oh, one more thing regarding documents. If you have the documents and you want to download them, just select them and click here, download. It will create like a zip folder, which you can find here under job requests. Here we go. I also went over the letter templates, the way you can customize them and save time. And lastly, the document assembly, um, reminders, case process steps, and tickler. Now I want to show you what happens when you have questions. But first, did you know? So any of these links that you want to click on when you download my PowerPoint presentation is going to take you to a video or an article. So if you didn't know, you can learn more today. By the way, we have all the USCIS e-filable forms. If you are not yet subscribed to e-filing, please contact us because you can now import data from the CBP website. All right, here we go. Resources and support. You can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays. You can email us 24/7. And you can also click on the top right. Let me show you actually. If you want to message us, click here where it says help, click on technical support, and send us a message. We respond in less than 4 hours. You can also use the same button to send your feedback to developers. We also have that user's guide. I actually put the link right here. So again, if you download my PowerPoint presentation, you can click on this link too. Now, these trainings that we do for free on Fridays are live and they're available if you access the video on our YouTube channel. If you haven't done it yet, we ask that you please subscribe to the channel. That way you get the notifications when we have new videos. We also have a podcast. It's called Cerenade Snacks. And we have a forum page on Facebook. So this is private. You can click to register or request the authorization. It's only for actual clients, so you can interact with users and see what questions they ask. And speaking of questions, these are some of the questions that you guys submitted. How to access or run reports. So you can search to either run a standard or custom report. By the way, I put the list for available reports right here. I suggest that you click on the link, but let me show you. If you click on advanced search, you can search anything you can think of, even like a custom search. Now, if you have a report in mind, you can search for clients data, cases, or if you are subscribed to billing, then billing related information. For example, let's say I want to see all cases that are just active cases and like there are naturalization cases in California or this particular branch. But not every single naturalization case, only the ones that we created maybe from November of last year until today. So I can narrow down my search and export to PDF, Excel, or HTML. These are the standard reports, but if you have custom reports, even better because you can schedule the report to be sent to you automatically. How to use billing and credit card processing modules. With billing, you create expenses, invoices, you can schedule payment plans, you process payments and more. And if you are subscribed to the credit card processing, you have to either connect with LawPay or PayPal. We only work with these two merchants. I put the links as well, so just click to access a video about billing. And also, if you need training, you can contact us. How to create custom fields and connect them so forms can auto-populate. That's also from the admin portal. You need to create the client custom field, and then you link them through it's called form custom data population. Let me quickly show you. In the admin, you click here to add the custom field, and once you have that field, then just click on File, Custom, Form Custom Data Population. Make sure that you are linking it to the correct form. The other day, a client called and she was linking it to the older version of the form. So make sure that you link it to the correct new version of the form. All right, let's see. These are there we go. If you want to register for this one, next Friday, we're doing a billing and credit card processing training. So this is perfect timing. And then the 26th of May, we're doing an efficient and time-saving tricks and shortcuts. So make sure that you click to register for the upcoming trainings. And if you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for more time, maybe 5 more minutes. If you have to disconnect before you do, let me ask you a question. Please let me know if your questions were addressed during the webinar. or if you have questions, you can still message me. If you don't have questions and you need to disconnect, before you do, let me thank you on behalf of Cerenade. Let me share this really quick. No questions. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So on behalf of Cerenade, for those that have to leave, have a great weekend and thank you so much for using eImmigration. Much helpful webinar. Thank you very much. Hope to learn more about billing in the next session. Yes, make sure that you register. And in the meantime, you can contact us for any questions, all right? So you can watch the tutorial video, and by the time that you access the training on Friday next week, then you have specific questions. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.